From the heights to the depths, from the city to the suburbs, down any highway, over bridges, and into the byways. Highways will be spotlighting a whole lot of God activity in our communities and throughout the world. Let's discover together how you and I have something to do and something to give. This is reality TV. This is Highways. Hello everyone, welcome back to Highways. I am so glad that you could join us on this second part of the God Advantage in Your Health. We're here at the Life Transformations Gym in Kansas City, and this is my family's gym. I can only say that as of about 6 months ago. But we are going to visit with the owners, Molly and Robert Wickman, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about why they started helping people with their lifestyle changes with fitness and then opening a gym. That's a pretty big leap of faith with the industry being so competitive these days with all the giant gyms where you only pay $10 a month or something. But this is a fantastic atmosphere here. It's very clean and runs so well and professionally. We really enjoy being here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on this second half
of
your show. Would y'all just talk a little bit about why you got into this profession, and also we're just trying to help people get inspired to get off their couches and kind of how you're able to pull people in here and do that, because you're really good at that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Robert and I, we've both grown up athletes, started working in the fitness industry each over a decade ago, kind of taken on the role of all aspects of the fitness center, and we came to a point where we decided we wanted to branch out and do something on our own. We kind of saw a need for maybe a medium-sized gym. Sometimes people may get lost in the larger facilities, but sometimes a smaller facility may be too small and not have the amenities. So what we wanted to do was have a gym that had the amenities of a larger gym, but a smaller exclusive setting. So it's not our goal to have the most members in town, but to have a quality fitness environment, service for our members, and the amenities they need and deserve. Fitness is definitely our passion, it's our lifestyle. We try to have a healthy family. We are in here, 7 days a week, every day, so we know what's going on, and try to transfer our passion of fitness to our staff and then also our members, to make sure people continue to come to the gym and live a healthy lifestyle in their homes. It's not hard, it definitely takes work. We have a toddler son too, and of course he would eat candy and cookies all day long if I let him. But he likes his fruits and veggies, and he'll tell you that. So we try to, instill the healthy lifestyle into our lives, and like I said, share that with our members, and then also try to get into the community as much as we can too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. And like Molly said, growing up an athlete, working out was always a very important part of my lifestyle, and it wasn't just something that I did for the sake of sport, but I actually enjoyed it. I didn't know a lot about nutrition when I was growing up. We ate healthy, but like most families, it was a blend of healthy with maybe not so healthy. And as I got older, running through college and stuff like that, I realized how important nutrition really could be. Because up until that point, I was just eating to satisfy hunger, and by happenstance, I had a lot of healthy food incorporated just from my upbringing. But once I started to learn a lot more about nutrition and really get a handle on how that translates to how I was training my body, I was able to do so much more than I previously had been. And, with people coming up to me and asking me lots of questions, just in the gym as a regular gym goer, I started to realize at how much I could really help other people. And, it's funny because I went through college all this time going for one profession, and then towards the end, the door opened to a completely different one. And so it's kind of funny how that worked, but it is very rewarding, not just to be there and see somebody lift more weight or be able to do more jumping jacks or run down the street or something like that, but to see the change that takes place, not just on the physical, but like inside about how they feel about themselves and how that translates back out onto the outside. So, with self confidence and a better outlook, a better mental aspect, it's, and that's kind of why we named the gym Life Transformations Fitness, because it's not body transformations fitness, it's life. And so what we're seeing is we're seeing the physical, the spiritual, the mental, everything from A to Z, in in their entire life. And it's very rewarding to see people do that, and to be part of it. Because you are somebody that helped them do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's something that we've so appreciated about y'all is that we come in. I haven't worked out it had been 20 years since I had literally worked out consistently. And just to come in and see you're a family, you're here together, but you're also gathering up other people and working out with them and sharing just different ideas or different helps, Delynn, instead of having a bunch of cookies on the counter for the kids at home, how about a fruit tray, But just really help change our mindset on fitness. And making it more of a lifestyle versus looking a certain way.
Yeah, exactly. Because anybody can do a short-term goal. Yeah. Anybody can say, you know what, for 3 months, I'm going to be the best I could possibly be. But the thing is, after 3 months, what do? Yeah. They revert back to exactly what they have been doing. So what we do is we try to surround ourselves here in the gym with our staff, with people with a positive outlook like what you're talking about. And that translates to a whole completely different environment and a new approach. Instead of just short-term goals, short-term results, but long-term goals, long-term results, and completely changing the game. And I think by setting up the environment that way, it rubs off on the members, and then it just creates this big whirlwind of like fitness and health and positive attitudes. And so. Yeah,
we've definitely seen that. And I was bragging to Molly yesterday because I was flipping a tractor tire.
Oh, yeah.
I just want this on camera. That's the only reason I'm saying it right now. But how amazing that 6 months ago, my mom and I were so thrilled when we could do the elliptical for 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're like, and we made it through 7 whole minutes on the elliptical. And now to be able, just the strength and the ability to go the whole day without taking a nap.
Oh, yeah.
We have a whole culture full of people that are convinced they're never going to look like that girl on the magazine cover. Well, so why even try?
And what I tell people is everybody starts at the beginning.
Yeah.
Nobody starts at the finish line. So it's all about making sure that, each day you take one step more towards that goal. And if that first step is 7 minutes on the elliptical, then it's 7 minutes on the elliptical. Yeah. But you know what? The next day you might do 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And you just keep moving forward until one day you're flipping tractor tires and doing all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's that metamorphosis of watching people transform and change.
Yeah. And so can you share with us maybe one really radical success story? Something or someone that would really stick out in your mind as a complete transformation.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at, some of our clients, like yourself, you hadn't worked out in an extended period of time. And it's probably intimidating to come into a fitness center. So we try to provide, the warm and welcoming environment, positive people. So if someone was to come into the gym that had not worked out in an extended period of time, and then signed up with a personal trainer and learn how to work out and educate themselves and made some lifestyle changes, incorporate their family, and put the nutrition into play. A lot of things, just portion size. If you think of what you may eat at a restaurant, like a serving of rice is a half cup. And if you were going to maybe a Chinese restaurant, I'm sure you may get 3 cups. which is
Yeah.
probably 6 servings.
Yeah, at
So if you were
least.
to pay attention to portion sizes, for your nutrition, it's not like you have to be eating, chicken and broccoli for every meal.
Right.
But if you're just to pay attention to portion sizes, add in your weight training with the trainer, maybe some cardiovascular activity, someone can make a big difference, and they're not doing anything out of the ordinary. They're just adding some physical fitness and paying attention to their dietary needs. So if that person was to do that for, say, 3 months with their trainer, then they may get to the point where they can do it on their own. And I bet they can, because they've learned how to work out and educated themselves. And then they can take what they've learned from nutrition and continue to do that on their own. And you'll see a lot of times with clients, they may go for their yearly physical, and their doctor may say, you don't need these blood pressure medicine anymore. You don't need your cholesterol medicine anymore. So someone's able to improve not just their lifestyle, but their overall health and well-being. And maybe they're not the parent sitting down at the park. Now they're the parent playing with their child at the park.
Yeah.
They've made a complete lifestyle change. So that is what I see as, someone who's really changed themselves around. So they feel better. They probably have a better self-esteem. They look better. They probably stand up a little taller. That's a perfect example of someone who made a change, but then they can do it on their own too. They have the confidence to do it on their own.
Yeah.
So.
For me, the one that sticks out in my mind the most is working with a teenager. And I was talking to your husband about this earlier. 240 pounds, 15 years old. And we're not talking 240 pounds of muscle. So for him, 80-pound reduction over the course of a year, developing muscle in the meantime. So not just 80 pounds of weight loss, but most likely more body fat loss than that as we built muscle. Because he continually got stronger. This is a kid who, you have to remember, he's a 15-year-old teenage boy. And he goes out with his friends and does normal teenage boy stuff. So for me, it's harder for him than it is for a grown person who doesn't have all those temptations and peer pressure of trying to fit in with their best friends and stuff like that. But for him, not just the fact that he lost the weight and he had this physical transformation, but for me, it's a completely different path that he went down in life. He was headed down a path of not being 240 pounds, but probably 300 pounds or 340 pounds. And for him, he has a completely different path in life now. He is down the path of health and wellness and taking care of his body. He, like Molly said, he learned about nutrition. He learned about his workouts, and he studies it inside and out. It's almost like a passion for him now. And he reads up and he studies and he works out. He's on his own now, still maintaining those goals, still has a long-term, direction. And so for me, it's almost like, let me think here. Like he has a completely different life now. And I just think of all the differences that would have been in his life if he had gone down the old path. Be it if it's overweight, be it if it's health issues, shorter lifespan, lower quality of life, all those things. And so for me, that's the one that sticks out in my mind the most, because it's not an adult who changed later in life and had already gone down that direction, but it's a completely different branch. And so for me, that's the one that sticks out the most.
Right. And I think about things now that I wouldn't have thought about before, like especially teenagers. Well, would you put down Xbox for 30 minutes a day and go out and actually throw the football or ride your bike or do something like that instead? I mean, throwing out challenges to the kids that I'm around, even my own. Why don't you choose an activity versus being on the computer for that amount of time? Just making those switches, or the portion control, for the person that's sitting behind the desk 8 or 12 hours a day. I heard a story of a woman who was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to be at work by 6. So she's at work from 6 to 6 and has to go and pick up kids from preschool or daycare or whatever, and then bring them home, cook dinner, do homework, and really doesn't have any time at all during the day to find a spot for physical activity. But I think back to what you were talking to me about right after we got here, and that was the portion controls. And how she's just going to a restaurant and eating whatever they put on her plate. And how we can think of practical things to switch in our lives no matter where we are or what we're doing, career, stay-at-home mom.
I often joke
you know?
that that's the John Travolta diet.
Yeah.
Because he had once got, when his career was in a slump, he had got pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And then he had this transformation, and everybody's like, John, you know, because he's a celebrity, so they're going to see what diet he's endorsing and what he's got that nobody else knows about. And he says, I just ate less. He's like, instead of having 2 hamburgers for lunch, I had 1.
Amazing.
Yeah, go figure. And
Shocker.
so, and like Molly said, you don't have to eat chicken and rice for every meal and have that monotony. But if it's just something as simple as having half as much as you normally would, if you were having more than what you actually should be having in the first place.
Right.
So,
which is so hard to even determine
yeah.
in our world,
And-
because they're putting giant portions on our plate and
Yeah.
having McDoubles and McTriples and
Yeah,
whatever.
and I have people that come
Whatever.
back from overseas, like say in Europe, and like where your son's at right now, and they talk about how small the portions are.
Yeah.
And then they come back to America, and if they've been over for a while, they're blown away. They're like, oh my God, it's so much food.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much food they're giving me. And I think that's our culture. It's just bigger and bigger and bigger. And so not just in our lifestyles, but also in the way that we eat.
Yeah.
And so it's about just relearning
Yeah.
what you need as opposed to what you're given or what you want.
That's
you
good.
know.
Yeah.
And if someone's not able to, have the time to come into the gym, you can start with small things at home. Just sometimes if someone would change from soda to water, that can make a big change just in yourself. Or watching your portion size. They say, about a serving is about the size of your fist. So if you look at your plate when you're putting your food for your dinner on your dinner table, look at your serving sizes. Or maybe add more fresh fruits and veggies onto your tray. Make your tray colorful. The food you're eating colorful, because that adds, better. Or switching from white to wheat, from white to whole grain. Those are small changes that people can make in their own home with their family. Or instead of, sitting on watching a sitcom after TV, take your pet or your children for a walk around the block. Just small things that you add into your day, and then you start there and then you build upon it. So it doesn't have to be, a whole thing where you come into the gym and have a nutritionist. You can start at home and build your way up.
That's really good.
Yep. And, like she was saying, like little things that you can do. I have a sister that lives in New York, and she rides the subway a lot and stuff like that. So what she says she does is she, like, sprints up the stairs when she's going, like, say, from a transfer or something like that. So it's just something little,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's a beginning,
Yeah.
And maybe those steps that she's sprinting up, maybe that turns into she walks a little faster to the train station, and she just incorporating a little bit more fitness, where she can.
Yeah, that's really
So.
good. I made a decision a couple days ago. I'll put the kids' piles on the stairs, so I can make less trips up the stairs with toys and shoes and books and all that. I thought, no, I'm going to each thing. I'm going to make a trip up the stairs and back down.
Yeah.
And so, I'm like, hey, I wouldn't have done that before.
I bet your heart rate got up.
Yeah, exactly.
My heart rate went way up. Yeah, we have a lot of toys and books and stuff. But it's interesting to me how just feeling a little bit better makes me think about things like that. When the weather warms up, I'm going to start taking my kids. I played tennis. That was my big sport that I did forever. And this is probably the first year ever that I've thought, when it warms up, I'm taking the kids to the tennis court. And we're going to get out there, and I'm going to teach them what I know how to do. You know?
Exactly, because it's a family activity, but also it's a healthy activity.
Right. But where before I would think of, let's go sit by the pool.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Not real active. But I really appreciate everything that you all are and inspiring people to just live a better life and I really, really thank you a lot. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you're a perfect example as to someone who came into the gym and now has a completely different outlook on physical fitness and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dylan.
Yeah. Thank you again, Robert and Molly, for joining us. And thank you for watching. And I hope this has inspired you to get up and be more active. And we'll be right back. We have with us one of our favorite people. This is Stephanie Roark, and she's our trainer here at Life Transformations. When Molly and Robert were talking about sometimes maybe you need a little extra help or some accountability, this is my mom, Linda Forbush. And this is who we needed to get us in the gym and get us on a kind of a schedule and have some accountability to know where to even start in the gym. We were the people that walked in and we were real intimidated when we first got here and didn't know what equipment to use. And at our ages, I'm not as young as I look probably, but I have some issues, knee things and different joint things. So I didn't want to just come right in and jump into big heavy weights and getting on machines and injuring myself further. And the same with Mom. There are things that we knew would be a benefit to us, but we really didn't know where to start. So that's where Stephanie comes in, and she helps us know what is actually going to strengthen. She helps me to know, you know what, maybe don't jump while you're doing those lunges, maybe step, or maybe...
There's always a modification to everything so that we can prevent injury or make the injury go away, or there's all kinds of modifications to make it suitable for different people.
Yeah, and so Stephanie is going to actually show some of the partner exercises that we do, and hopefully, even at home, it would be something that you could do affordably.
Yes, definitely.
And have a partner or not, I guess.
Yes, we're going to use some resistance bands, and what we do, since I train them both at the same time, normally, we hook them together so that I have one person on each end. Or you can, if you don't have a partner, just hook it around something that's about hip width or hip height, and that'll work just as well too. There's all kinds of things at home that we have and we don't think about using for gym equipment. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And we can visit just a second about why you do this and why you put up with people like us.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't sit in an office or anything. I grew up very active in different sports. I think I tried everything, just kind of like every parent does, giving every child a chance to succeed in something. My mother was always running, or rollerblading was hot back then. We were bicycling. We were always going to the lake or skiing or tubing. So every day there was something, and even with my kids, we're trying to get them involved in different things, seeing what they like and don't like, show them that you don't have to be in a sport to be active. We can go to the track, or we can just ride our bikes, go in the backyard and jump around. My daughter likes to take cones and do boot camp exercises basically in the backyard with them. So, I mean, use your imagination. You go to the park and there's all kinds of things there. So you have opportunity everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. And so you went through college, and what made you decide to
pursue this?
Yeah.
I actually had a awesome track and field coach, and he has no idea. I should probably send a letter or something. But I had someone say, you should take a strength and conditioning class. You know, you might like it, and it was my favorite class. Lifting weights and doing sprints were fun to me. And then it turned out that same coach was my track and field coach, and he was awesome, very particular about things. Form is very important, which grew with me. And not too long ago, my daughter said, I want to see your prom pictures. I'm going, great, okay, let me pull those out of the cedar chest. Well, along with all of that stuff were medals and trophies that she got to see, and there was a book or a notebook that I had written in high school that had what do you want to be when you grow up, and there was a whole paper about being a personal trainer, and I thought, well, that was about as meant to be as it could be. So there's nothing else I'd rather do. I love helping people and seeing them succeed in just everyday activities and just doing one small exercise and then just gradually succeeding from there. So it's really cool. I love it.
Well, we love you.
Yes, well, I love you guys.
She makes it fun.
Yes.
Because I especially was not an easy nut to crack, that's for sure. Because this is not my passion. I love people and I love helping people, but getting in the gym and actually sweating and hurting was not exciting to me. But now I don't hurt. Yeah. Now it doesn't hurt, and I feel better, and I have more energy, and it's really exciting. So hopefully we'll inspire you to do the same thing.
Right.
Yes. So we're gonna grab our bands.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can watch Mom and I flex. And this is how we got stronger and feel better, and you'll get to hear more from Mom in a minute.
Okay. I just looped them together in the middle here, kind of even them out. Red is a nice safe color because you can it's kind of a medium resistance. It's not too heavy, not too light. So you can do a lot with them. And the resistance bands are just a big rubber band, so the further apart they're going to be, the more resistance we get, so the closer, it's a little lighter. So we're going to start with an isometric squat. Isometric is just when you're holding a muscle contracted, so we're going to hold the squat at the bottom, and then palms are down, and we're going to row it in. So think of skiing, starting off that way. There you go. Good. And breathe out, and breathe in. Good.
And how many of these do we usually do?
We do about between 12 and 15. Sometimes we might do it for a time and really get those legs shaking. But we can move on to the next one if you want.
That'd be great. So we have to be here tomorrow.
The next one, let's go ahead and just keep the biceps going. We'll put one foot in front of the other. We might be okay. Palms are up, and you're going to curl them in doing a bicep curl, and your elbows are going to face your partner, so keep them up. So stretch them back out. There you go. Okay. And then in together, and out. That's too light. So okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. In and out. Good. Go 5 more.
Well, because you hear people talk about, reps or sets or those kinds of things.
Okay.
Do you have
Yes. We normally go a little bit higher intensity. We definitely move from one exercise to another very quickly to burn more calories in a short amount of time, which will keep the calorie burning process going longer throughout the day. All right, we're going to switch it up and do kickbacks. So you're a good distance apart. Arms are attached to your sides. They're glued there. Think of a T-Rex, and the only thing that moves is your forearms. There you go, push back. Scoot up a little bit. But we do a lot of plyometric exercises that are okay to do on Dylan's knee. There's some things that we have to gradually get into, but just things we have to watch as we go. Everything is, we can have one thing on the plan and modify it to do something else. All right, and then you two are going to turn around, go back to back, and we're going to do, just look at me, a chest fly. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through it. So spread apart. There you go. Bring your arms, both of you bring your arms together. Okay, put one foot in front of the other. There we go. And elbows are slightly bent, and just bring them out to chest level, and keep the elbows slightly bent and bring them back together. Breathe, back out.
So we're letting everyone have a first-hand look. We've never done this exercise before.
We might have to do this tomorrow.
Yes.
This is a trust your partner exercise.
Yeah.
Don't let go.
There you go. 2. So this works your chest and shoulders. Bend those elbows just a little bit. There you go. 1 more. This works your chest and shoulders. The one before that works your triceps. So that's a little bit of everything. We got the quads engaged. to do, I mean, if you have someone at home, a neighbor or husband or wife, it's always good, someone to work with. But it gets you started. Just anything to get moving, really.
Yeah, and I love how, because we have such a different workout with Stephanie than you would normally see with a personal trainer in a gym where my husband comes and he has a specific leg day or an arm day or a chest day or, and we do more of a, would you call it a
body circuit, basically.
A full
Fast
body
moving.
circuit. So, more of a, these days, like a boot camp type. A boot camp is what you would hear the terminology or whatever, where we're doing everything.
Right, we do
Like-
everything, and it switches up
Yeah.
the exercises, working the same muscle groups every
And I was telling Lee, that's kind of what I like, is not knowing what to expect.
Yeah. You have an
I don't
idea of
know
how
what-
it's going to go, but not exactly what we're doing yet.
Yes. And it's really, I've seen huge results with that workout in the last, how long have we been with it? Like 6 weeks?
Maybe, yeah.
Now?
Yeah, it's about.
And I have seen drastic results doing this type of a workout versus the more basic
body part
or,
every-
yeah.
Muscle group every day.
Muscle groups, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, we appreciate you
Oh, I
and
love you
helping
guys.
helping us get in shape. And again, I hope that we've really inspired you to find a partner, find someone who is interested, and just get out and walk or play or get some bands and start doing some of these things.
Yes.
Just move.
Just move.
We'll be right back. Well, earlier you got to see my workout partner, my mom, and she shows me up at the gym regularly. And so now we're going to just talk to you for a second about how we feel there is a definite God advantage when you involve Him in your health and your nutrition in this part of our lives, and kind of just what we've seen by putting those things into practice. And we have these conversations often because we do a lot of our grocery shopping together. We work out together. We eat together. So she is generally keeping me on my mark because I'm not great at these things. But Mom, tell us for a second about some of the advantages that you've seen by just incorporating the nutrition and the weight training along with your daily, your spiritual life.
Okay, well, being that we're made up, we think body, mind, and spirit. We feed all of those things, right? On something.
That's good.
So, we feed our physical body. And depending on what we feed it, is what result we get.
That's good.
So if we feed it with good things, we get good results.
Right.
Same with our spirit. Whatever you feed it with, it's going to be the result you get.
Right.
So that's why we feed it. If we feed our body with things that give life, then our body's going to feel better. We're not going to have the aches and the pains and all of those things when we eat a lot of junk or processed food. Well, and isn't our mind, our spirit the same way? When we feed it the good stuff, and we say out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, then we can speak life into other people. But if our physical body doesn't feel good,
Right.
then we tend to, we want to sit on the couch or lay in bed and we struggle, right? Where if our physical body, if we fed it right, correctly, with all the life-giving things, then we're able to speak life into others.
That's easy.
So it all works together.
Yeah.
And having done it as long as I have, it's paying off.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that. you know, because I don't have aches and pains.
Right, right.
And-
she gets sent home from the doctor when we go for physicals.
Yeah.
So yes, it is paying off for
They,
sure.
they didn't want to give me a
No.
stress test or
Right.
all that. But
Right.
anyway, so that is, yeah, and it feels good.
Yeah.
When you can
And you're a
do
life
that.
giver in your words, and you're a life giver in your actions, and how none of it is compartmentalized
No.
for you or for me. And we don't just do our church life and then have our physical life, and how it's all very a part of each other and incorporated.
Right, because, well, like I said, we feed on good things for our physical body. We feed on God's word, you know, then we're able to give life. Otherwise, we're just existing. You can exist on junk.
Right,
Your body can exist,
right.
but are you really living,
That's good.
you know? So,
That's good.
yeah, so be able to give life
Okay.
in all areas.
That's awesome. We can end there, people. That was awesome. Let's be life givers, and let's feed our bodies with life-giving things. Let's keep our bodies strong, and let's feed on the Word of God, because that's what's going to give us the ability to be a life giver. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode. I hope you've been inspired, and I hope that you feel hope just rising up within you, that you feel a new level of strength and a new level of faith in all that you say and do. Just go and be a life giver. Thanks again for joining us on this episode of Highways. Hello, I'm Delynn Watts. I'm president of Highways Ministries. Here at Highways, we are passionate about people. We're passionate for people to know their destiny and to see who they're really supposed to be in God. We want to share stories with you from people near and far, all sorts of ministries and individuals that have seen God do amazing things in and through them. And we want to see that translated to you through the camera lens. Would you consider becoming a partner with Highways, whether it be financially, through your skills, through your encouragement, or maybe you have a story that the world needs to hear? Join with us as we inspire, encourage, and empower people to become all that they're supposed to be in God. This is Highways. This is reality TV. We want you to be a part. Don't miss out. You can find us on the website, highwaysministries.com. We're also on YouTube and iRevival.tv. Be a part of all that God's doing in the earth today. Thank you.